I'm sure this will come up again, but for today, stop blaming the millennials. I'm Wakeman, and I'm a drama researcher. I want to welcome you to my new Facebook Watch show, Life's Messy, Live Happy. I want to use this show to teach you tools and strategies and techniques that you can use to live with a ton of happiness and success, even in spite of circumstances or when life gets pretty messy. Back when I was a counselor, I got the opportunity to work with a variety of clients. In our first session, I would often ask, why are you here? And I heard common answers. Most people came to me because they were hoping to be happier and or more successful. Now, when I heard that someone's goals was happiness and success, I actually got pretty excited because I know that there are universal principles that if you just learn them and live them, happiness and success is just your natural state. Before I got in though to teaching these universal principles, I wanted to know more about my clients. So I would ask them, if happiness and success have been your goals, what have you tried in order to create that for yourself? And it's when I asked this question that I stumbled upon a eureka moment for myself. See, I found a major flaw in most of my clients' logic. I found kind of the human condition and a pretty big breakthrough. When I asked that question, what have you tried to get more happy or successful? I found the average person answered, well, in order for me to be happy or successful, I would need a different, and then you fill in the blank. I would need a different spouse, or I would need a different job, or I would need more money, or to live in a different place, or I would need my kids to act differently. See, everything that they told me has something to do with their reality changing. And I soon discovered that most of us as human beings actually believe that our happiness and our success depends on our circumstances. And what I am here to teach you in this show is that your circumstances aren't the reasons you aren't succeeding or that you aren't happy. Your circumstances aren't the reasons you can't succeed. They're the reality in which you must succeed. And there's a very subtle change in that. Most of us, when we're feeling stressed or unhappy, immediately look to our circumstances as the reason. And I'm here to help you understand that those circumstances are just your reality, and that it's more about the way you see your reality that leads to your success and happiness. So once you figure out that happiness is not correlated to your circumstances, it's correlated to the amount of accountability you take for your circumstances, you'll see entire options opening up. And it was my pleasure as I worked with my clients to help them understand that life's always going to be messy, but you can live happy anyway, that you can be successful and happy in spite of your circumstances. And I believe that's the ultimate freedom, when he understands that it's not about the reality needing to change. It's about you growing and developing and becoming more skillful so that you can live in any reality that comes your way, and not only just live through it, but really enjoy it and love it. This is part of the show I call Dear Cy. It's where I take questions from fans. The first question is from Darcy, and she asks, my existing culture feels so negative and is based on gossip and drama. How do you change an existing culture? I've got some bad news, Darcy. I don't think you do change cultures. I do believe you can change climates. Now, the climate is the area right around you, and if you change enough climates, then culture changes. It's like this really good type of global warming. You can't change the weather outside, but you can certainly dress appropriately for the temperature you want to be. And that's where I want you to focus. I want you to move away from what's wrong in the culture, and I want you to focus on where can I have impact on the daily. And I call this whole theme, Stop Judging, Start Helping. I believe in Stop Judging, Start Helping so much that if you worked for me, on the back of your badge, you would actually have a question that says, how can I help? And whenever you were judging, I would ask you to start helping. So first, judging. I want you to understand that whenever you see a behavior, your ego adds commentary to it. I saw two people talking and the topic was about someone not present. My ego says, aha, they're gossiping. I see another conversation happening and people are expressing frustration. My ego adds, they're so negative. The counterintuitive piece of this is that you're adding to the negativity with your own judgment. The one place you can have immediate impact is to stop the judgment and just get really neutral about what's going on. That way, you don't have to feel negative about what's happening. You can feel neutral about what's happening. And that's going to put you in a position then to start helping. So what I advise you to do when you are experiencing something that you believe could be helped is that you just intervene first with a very positive statement about the topic at hand that puts a stake in the ground about where you're going, where you're putting your energy, and then with a great brainstorming session, you lead on what could we do to help. Let me give you an example. I'm in Cube Land and a colleague comes up and starts complaining about Rhonda in IT. And it starts to be gossipy. Rhonda can't manage her way out of a paper bag and IT has really made it difficult for us and they don't listen and this new project is really gonna slow us down. First thing I do is I go, oh my gosh, I love our colleagues in IT. Positive statement. Then I say, what should we be doing to help? What do you guys think we could do to help this situation? I, for one, am willing to connect with Rhonda and see if I can't help in the understanding of what we can do to support their implementation. See, when you take that energy away from why we can't and why we shouldn't have to and put it in how we could help, people do one of two things. They'll join in and appreciate that you redirected them and they'll start brainstorming how to help, or they'll get the clear message that if they aren't helping, they need to move on to a different subject. I've even had, when I've done this technique, where people are like, you know what? I'm not getting involved in that. I go, great, then what should we be doing for lunch? It sets the tone that you're here to help or to move on to other places where you could add value. One of the things I truly believe is that together we're genius. And there are topics that come up that I get super passionate about, and I know I need to pull a consult. So one of the things I want to try with this new Facebook Watch show is pulling my team together on different topics that we all get pretty passionate about and seeing if we can't interrupt your thinking a bit and share some of our unconventional wisdom. So the topic I'm picking today is the one we get so upset about often, and it's all the crap out on the internet about how millennials are ruining our lives and our world, and we can't lead, and they aren't dedicated, and they don't want to work hard, and So I thought I would open up the topic with millennials. What are you guys hearing, and what do you guys have to add to that subject?
Well, I just got a text last night from a friend who actually I gave the book to, No Ego. And they're like, this is perfect. I can use this to deal with all the millennials at work. And I said, well, actually, there was many things I could have responded, but I said, unfortunately, drama comes with every age. So, but it is funny how, for some reason, we've all keyed in on that millennials are the problem.
Millennials are the problem. It's a simple, agreed upon excuse for why we aren't leading in a modern way. And people have keyed in on it. When I share the data that in the last 10 years, drama has increased in the workplace from 2 hours a day per person to 2.5 hours a day per person, people instantly go, oh, those dang millennials. And what I'm here to tell them is it's not the age of the human, it's the human condition. The source of drama has nothing to do with your age. It has to do with the fact that we have an ego, and all of us have egos, and egos lead us to judge. And I think the whole millennial thing is just it's an acceptable way to judge one another rather than step up and lead, through that.
Right.
And there's so many things I hear people say, rules that they create, ways they try and control reality or take it back to the past, instead of just really moving us forward, using everyone in your workplace to move us forward.
Actually, one of the ones that I think are the most often probably is that we spend too much time on our screens as millennials. So when you go to like keynotes or when you have these meetings in your companies, they say do not bring your phones. And we're like, well, like in my case, when I hear that or when I read about that on articles, I'm like, no, like not because English is my second language, but I'm on my phone all the time, either taking notes or looking something up online, like a word that I don't understand or a question that is being asked that people are looking the answer to. So.
It's so true. We would lose our competitive advantage if Anna didn't bring all technology to the meetings. That cracks me up because I bought you guys this technology and then I'm going to say don't bring it to the meeting.
Right.
It's like one of our biggest resources because we need to go to where the world is. And I have people, they'll say, they're so distracted at work on their phones and they want to take the phones away. I'm like, no, give them their phones. I want to be their distraction. So instead of trying to fight reality, co-opt it and go for it. But keynotes, a lot of times the announcer right before me has this old message and they're like, please put away your phones and pay proper respect to the speaker, put away all technology. And I'm like, no!
Because take your phones out, please.
Please tweet this.
Yeah.
Let's go.
Ellie's our social media person. She has perfectly designed every PowerPoint slide to be like
get it out
Instagram. Yeah. So I go, please, everyone take your phones back out. We want you to text us to connect in.
Yeah.
When I'm not ready for what's next, I want the whole world to go back to where I was comfortable. So what I want to say to any leaders out there, if you are still using this excuse of, oh, I can't lead these millennials, it's not about the millennials. You have stepped down and you're using that as a reason, story, or excuse. These millennials are awesome, and what they do need is great partnership with great leaders who pays attention to where they're going, goes along for the ride, and while you're at it, calls them up to greatness and gets them to be more and think about greater things. So I'm sure this will come up again, but for today, stop blaming the millennials. And millennials, stop judging us. Some of us are pretty cool. Thank you so much for watching the first episode of my show. Make sure that you like my page and stay tuned. And remember, life's messy, live happy.